Welcome to Larry Under Pressure. In this video, a quick, one-pot Ninja Speedi meal with pork tenderloin, potatoes, and fresh corn. This is a Larry Under Pressure production. Now, here's Larry.
Hello everybody. I wasn't actually planning to do a video tonight, but when I got home from work I decided I was going to do a speedy meal with pork tenderloin, potatoes, and corn all at one time in the Ninja Speedi, and it would only take about 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and do it for you as well. First of all, you can use any kind of potatoes you like. With russet potatoes you have to peel them because of the peeling, but with these California Gold potatoes or Idaho Gold potatoes, I like these smaller ones and you don't have to peel them. So I've washed them and cleaned them up and cut off some spots on them, and I'm just going to cut them into a little bit smaller pieces. Most of them are small enough that I can just cut them maybe into fourths. And we're going to cut them up and put them in the Speedi and get ready to cook them. And then we'll go from there. So I'll be back after I get these cut up and in the Speedi. Those potatoes are in the pot, and I wanted to also mention that some of these, like this little guy here, there's no need to even cut it up. It'll be just fine the way it is. The next thing we're going to do is, I've got just 2 ears of corn is all I'm putting in, but you could put 4 or more. Just like this is a little over a pound of potatoes, you could put in a couple pounds. I'm not using the limits of this at all because I don't need that much for dinner for tonight. So I'm going to put the corn in there on either side, and then I'm going to pour 1 1/2 cup of water into the Speedi, and we're ready to go ahead and get the meat ready. Prepping the meat is going to be real simple. This is a pork tenderloin that's a little bit over a pound, but not much. And the first thing we're going to do is pour a little bit of olive oil on it as a binder for the spices that we're putting on it. Rub that oil in on both sides. And then we're going to add my go-to seasoning, the Himalayan pink salt, on all sides of it. Get it real nice and covered so that it's not so bland. Pork tends to be too bland if you don't put a little bit of spice on it, but we don't want much on this. Alright, that's ready to go. Let's get it in the pot. Remember, we already have the potatoes, the corn, and 1 1/2 cups of water in the pot. So what we're going to do is use the crisping tray, and we're going to open the little feet on that so that it'll be in the high position. We're going to put it into the Speedi on the high position, and then we're going to put the tenderloin on top of that. We'll put it diagonally across. You can put it any way you want. You could also cook another 1 or 2 tenderloins in there if you wanted to. There's plenty of room and plenty of capacity for that, depending on your family size. Let's go down and we'll look at the front and set it up to cook. Here we are at the front of the Speedi. The first thing I'm going to do is turn it on, and then we need to make sure that we move this flip lever up to the rapid cook position so we activate the rapid cook side of the cooker. Let me zoom in a little bit on the face panel. We're going to set it on 350 degrees. First of all, we need to put it on steam and bake. Steam and bake 350 degrees for 20 minutes. And press start. Now it's started and it's preheating. You can see the little lines that show up. It's going to preheat for about 10 to 15 minutes. And while it's doing that, it's going to be steaming the vegetables, steaming the meat, and at the end of the preheat time, it's going to actually turn on the air fryer and finish cooking the meat and work on the vegetables as well. So about halfway through, we'll take a look in on it and see how it's going. The Speedi is still preheating, and you can see that it's still running the line here, and it hadn't turned on the fan. There is, however, steam pouring out of it, so it is steaming everything inside. And it's the Speedi's unusual ability to blend 3 or 4 different amazing cooking technologies all into one cook that allows it to do such an amazing job. We'll be back in a minute. The Ninja just cut over to the 20-minute steam and bake function. So now the internal fan's going, and it's heating from the top element to roast that meat and to continue cooking the vegetables down below. It's at 19 minutes and 35 seconds, so when it gets down to about 10 minutes, we're going to open it up and check it. Remember, we need to always make sure we cook meat by temperature, not by time. And we're looking for an internal temperature of 140 to 145 degrees on the roast, which is safe by FDA certification. So we'll check back in about 10 minutes and take a look and see where we are. We're at about 9 minutes, so we're going to take a look and see where we are. Look how nicely it's browning. Let's just check a temp. I'm sure it's not quite ready yet, but we'll check and see. Let me zoom in on it a little bit so you can see the beautiful color. Well, I said we wouldn't be ready. We're at 145. It's done. So I'm going to take the meat out, and we'll put it on the plate and let it rest. And we're going to go ahead and close the lid back and continue cooking for about another 5 minutes to get the vegetables where they're more ready than they are now. And we'll come back and check on them. We're at 6 minutes remaining now. So I'm going to open it and we're going to check the vegetables and see where they are. Sorry, the steam's fogging up the lens. Let me get the grill plate out. Put that in the sink. They look like they're done. Oh yeah, they're fork tender. They're perfect. But I'm going to let them cook for about another minute and make sure they're a little bit browned, and then we'll plate it up. We're down to 4 minutes remaining now, so we've actually done about a 16-minute cook on these, and we're going to go ahead and open it up and call it quits. I'm going to turn off the Ninja, take out the corn, and then we're going to work on the potatoes. We've got the roast out. It's been resting now for about 8 or 10 minutes. We have the corn out. The potatoes are still in the Ninja. But I wanted to show you something I learned today. It's not anything big revolutionary, but I thought it was a great idea. From another YouTuber, if you take butter and melt it in a dish like this, then you can take your corn and roll it in that butter, and it coats it so well. It's a lot easier than trying to smear butter on it that's frozen or cold out of the refrigerator. So now that's nice and buttered. Then you can take your potatoes. I probably should have used a little bit bigger bowl, and I won't do them all to show you because there's no need. But if you take your potatoes and put them in there to sop up the rest of the butter, you've got quite a nice dish. We'll leave a few of those potatoes there, and then stir this around in that butter so they all get nice and buttered. And then once you put them on the serving plate, you can add a little bit of salt and pepper to them too if you like, to enhance the flavor of them. So I'm going to plate this up, and then we'll come back and take a taste. Let's cut into this tenderloin and see how it looks. I'm pretty sure it's going to be amazing. Oh, it's so tender, the knife just goes through it without any effort at all. Look at that. Oh my goodness, it's so juicy. The technology of this Speedi, where it cooks the first half of the meat with steam rather than direct heat, makes a huge difference in the finish. Makes it delicious, more tender, and more flavorful, and more juicy. Let's see what it tastes like. That's really good. It's so tender and delicious and juicy. One of the best tenderloins I've ever had. You can fix it the same way. Your family will enjoy it, and thank you for it. Thank you for joining us on Larry Under Pressure. And if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe and share the video. It helps the channel and the YouTube algorithm to get out to more people, and we appreciate it. Thank you again.
Thanks for watching our video. Below this screen is a full written recipe for this dish. In addition, there are links to purchase many of the Amazon products Larry uses on the channel. See you next time.